Hi, this is Carmen. I'm from Best Entertainment Review in El Paso, and I'm here with Ray Ramos. And we're going to go ahead and interview. This is the first time for the web to have a featured artist, and it will be Ray Ramos. And I'm going to be interviewing him. Ray Ramos is one of my favorite poetry artists that I have ever seen and that I've ever heard. I love his poetry, and that's why I chose for him to be my first feature artist. So let's go ahead and get started with his questions. So Ray, I want to ask you, tell me, where did you grow up, or tell me something about yourself. Where did you grow up, and where did you graduate from high school?
I was born in Paso, Texas, back in the late 70s. I'm going to tell you exactly when so I can stay young. For the people that don't know, grew up in the lower valley, but I was originally born in Sonoma. And I forget the name of the hospital, but it's demolished now. I think it was an AA center for it, but it's kind of fitting as an environment. I went to school in the lower valley in Cedar Grove, Riverside Middle, graduated from Riverside sometime in the 90s. So once again, so I have that aura of mystery. But yeah, so I've been involved in the poetry since I was 14. It's been a while. I gave my first workshop at Works when I was 18, and I've been involved in the scene ever since.
And so, where did you graduate from high school?
Riverside.
Riverside. Riverside. So my question was, you kind of answered it. What got you started in poetry? What made you inspired, or what?
Lonely. I didn't have very many friends. What I really did was access to poets. When I was growing up, it was still in that area of time that was forbidden, or not forbidden, but looked upon sourly, almost Spanish in school. So my first language was Spanish. That's when my parents introduced me to the first language of Spanish. But as I was growing up, when I was in school, that was kind of gotten out of me, or it was instilled in me that it was bad to speak Spanish or just to speak English. So I had to, in my own mind, I had to master the English language. I had to kind of figure out how English worked, and I started reading. I was involved with that whole book thing when the kids were free dancing. And that was one of my incentives, I guess, to learn how to speak English properly. Because of that, I got into reading books, which led into poetry and comics and things of nature, just so I could exercise my language skills to learn English better and speak it well.
That's interesting. And what keeps you going interested in poetry?
Right now, I just want something new. Unfortunately, for me, it seems like poetry is very stagnant. There's a lot of repetitiveness in poetry. A lot of new artists that are coming out seem to be cookie-cutter type artists that have the same rhythm, the same rhyme, or the same words. It's very derivative of things that have come before. Nobody seems to have a fresh voice, and that's what I'm looking for, and that's what I'm waiting for. When I first started doing poetry, it was very new to me, and there's a lot of people that were coming through brilliant writers that were writing because they loved it. Now it seems like they're writing because it's popular, or they want to perform in front of people, and they want to make it big. And see other artists that seem to be very famous, and that's where they want to go. And I don't see it. I want poetry to inspire me again, and that's what keeps me going.
And I want to know, so who inspired you? Who's your inspiration about writing? Do you have any authors? Do you have any somebody that you looked up to that inspired you in writing?
When I was growing up, it was very difficult to find one author that I really enjoyed. When I started writing, however, it was hands down Dylan Thomas. Dylan Thomas had the voice, he had the writing down, he had the performance aspect down. In my opinion, Dylan Thomas was the first words were recorded and these albums were made, and they were very good and best-selling. Growing up in this area of the country where it's looked down upon with this color and write a certain style, like the Southwest style, the Ramos style, everything about it's the Ramos and things of that nature. When I was growing up, I enjoyed writing poetry. That's all I read. I just loved poetry. I was big on the romantics. I love Rimbaud. I love Poe. I enjoyed all these romantic poets that people kind of frowned upon if you were reading it you what's the name? But you can fix it in editing. If you didn't read Nebula, or if you didn't read some more famous poet, Spanish poet, things of that nature. If you didn't read that stuff and you didn't write in that style, then you were looked down in this area. So it was very difficult for me to break that, writing what I wrote. I'm not trying to fall into that area, or be pigeonholed in that area because I control it myself.
So what are your plans for the future?
To keep writing until I to try and find the muse to tempt her, taunt her, and inspire her so that she can bless me with masterpieces that just seem to flow from the pen rather than I have to concentrate and struggle through it. That's what I want to publish some books and continue reading spoken word, performance poetry, perhaps a tour at some point in time, go back to San Francisco and really explore the beats, which I fell in love with when I was as well. I consider myself one of the few neo-beat poets that exist here in the country. There's a few others. We had a big movement back in the mid-90s where there was a lot of us that came together and explored the beats and kind of formed a community of poetry. It hasn't been matched since. I kind of miss that. I want to kind of get back to that. So maybe I'll form another group, try and do something poetry that hasn't been done before.
I know that you're the founder of the Poetry Slam here in El Paso, and I want to know what made you start the Poetry Slam and what makes you keep on keeping it alive, because it's still alive and a lot of people look up to you, a lot of people look up to the Poetry Slam, and I want to know what made you start it, what made you inspired.
I'm not sure why people look up to me as far as poetry is concerned, because there's tons of other better poets than I am. But I was one of the founders that started the slam movement here in town back in the early 2000s. And it's been through very many different incarnations. But just the love and the fact that you can perform with people, express yourself with people, and actually get where you come up from as far as what you write. But there's a very thin line where it's about you and it's about the audience. And that's the dangerous line that some poets seem to not respect. So when it stops being writing about you and it crosses into writing to please the audience, that's kind of like slam is not about what should be. And a lot of poets now here in town disrespect that line. And they just get drunk on the fact that they're getting attention and being famous, and people aren't paying attention to what they have to say when they forget that the content of the actual writing is what's important. What's important is what you're writing about. It's a piece of your soul that you're showcasing for people to judge. So when I started the scene, or we started the whole scene, there's a few of us, I was a founder. That's what we wanted to hear. We wanted to express ourselves in a way that people they like what we have to say, but at the same time to give other poets a platform to come in and express themselves and write about what they wanted to write, express themselves what they wanted to say as well. Any views, anything, nothing was taboo. And that's what I want to continue to keep going as far as the slam is concerned, to explore new avenues, to bring poetry to the forefront sometimes you have people that don't know much about slam poetry in general, writing in general, appreciate it, come out and check us out, and maybe get involved.
Now my last question. When you die, how would you like to be remembered?
I'm never gonna die. Never gonna die.
That's good. So great. He's never gonna die. Well, thank you. Thank you very much for being my first featured artist. And this will end my interview. And again, Carmen Chapa from this Entertainment Review in El Paso. Thank you. And we'll see you later. That should work. Okay, so it's going.